What happens when the world goes dark and the only light left burns in the hands of your enemies? Today we're diving into Wolverine's Revenge, issue number 1. A brutal tale that begins with the death of Magneto and ends with the fall of the Earth's mightiest heroes. This isn't just another comic book story. It's a desperate fight for survival where even the savage Wolverine might have finally met his match. From dinosaur battles in the Savage Land to a heist gone horribly wrong, this issue definitely delivers in storytelling and action. Let's get into it. It began in an instant that no one alive witnessed. Magneto, master of magnetism, the most powerful mutant on Earth, drew his final breath as Asteroid M burned through our atmosphere. But death wasn't the end of his story. It was merely the catalyst for something far worse. When gods fall, they don't go quietly. They take the worlds with them. With his dying breath, Magneto unleashed the most devastating electromagnetic pulse in human history, plunging the entire northern hemisphere into darkness. Just like that, civilization as we know it, gone. 100 million souls extinguished in the blink of an eye. And that was only the beginning. 10 days after the pulse that changed everything, while governments collapsed and cities burned, our story picks up in the one place on Earth untouched by modern technology, the prehistoric paradise known as the Savage Land. Deep in Antarctica's hidden jungle, a tribal hunting party moves with caution through the primeval wilderness. Fear hangs in the air like morning mist. Something has changed in the world, something terrible. I can feel it in the air. Death stalks nearby, but we must be brave. Our people are counting on us. The tribesmen's words hang in the air until they're interrupted by the thunderous impact of a massive dinosaur foot. And then that voice, that unmistakable gruff voice that can only belong to one man. Wow, that's some scary talk, no doubt. It's Wolverine, the most dangerous mutant alive, casually perched atop a triceratops like it's just another Tuesday. His vacation interrupted, his connection to the outside world deliberately severed. He has no idea that the world above is burning. When a massive T-Rex bursts from the foliage, sending Wolverine flying through the air, we get that quintessential moment of brutality that only Logan can deliver. Claws extended, blood spraying, he tears into the T-Rex, first stabbing it in the mouth and then the chest. This is what happens when you run into something meaner than you, he says. But before he can finish the job, a single gunshot rings out, dropping the dinosaur instantly. Nick Fury steps from the shadows, and the weight of his presence tells us everything we need to know. This isn't a social call. Vacation? What's that? I've heard of it, but I've never experienced one myself, Fury says. Fury is there to recruit Wolverine for a mission to save the United States. Wolverine turns him down, saying he's Canadian. Fury responds, "I'm sorry to say, there really isn't a Canada anymore, so I figured you might make an exception." 8 hours later, aboard one of the last 3 functioning helicarriers on Earth, we get our first true glimpse of the apocalypse. The holographic displays show a world gone dark, major cities reduced to anarchy, and a death toll climbing by the minute. Nick Fury lays out the situation with military precision. 100 million dead already. The West with less than a week before complete collapse. Billions more lives hanging in the balance. But this isn't a rescue mission. It isn't even a military operation. This is a heist. The target? Tunguska Station. A remote Brotherhood fortress somehow still operational, housing the only cold fusion seed reactor in existence. The only power source capable of turning the lights back on for half the planet. Captain America, ever the optimist, questions the approach. "Are you sure we're not focusing on the wrong thing here, Nick? Shouldn't we be helping to save as many people as we can?" Fury's response is pure cinema, a line that encapsulates the entire desperate situation better than any monologue could. The EMP fried absolutely everything. There isn't a working phone, computer, light bulb, train, plane, or power plant for thousands of miles that will ever function again. The only way to save people is to turn the lights back on. The stakes established, our heroes prepare for what might be their final mission. Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine, three of the greatest soldiers in Marvel history, backed by the last remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury's final briefing carries the weight of a biblical commandment. I want to be very clear. We succeed here today. 1 billion lives hang in the balance. Failure is not an option. But this is where everything shifts from desperate mission to nightmare scenario. 20 minutes out from their target, the first helicarrier erupts in flames. The voice that responds to Fury's frantic calls isn't Clay Quarterman, the one in charge of the helicarrier. It's Mastermind, the Brotherhood's leader, revealing they've been compromised from the start. In a moment of pure adrenaline-fueled action, Cap, Bucky, and Logan leap from the doomed helicarrier moments before it explodes. They crash into the snow below, the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D. falling around them like burning confetti. How far? Wolverine asks, the survival instincts that kept him alive for over a century kicking into high gear. Take a look, Cap responds, gesturing to the distant lights of Tunguska Station, their only hope, and almost certainly their grave. What follows is a sequence of stealth attacks. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are picked off one by one, viciously, mercilessly. Maria Hill, one of the most competent agents in the organization's history, lies dying in crimson snow. The tension builds with each page turn as Winter Soldier is ambushed despite his precautions. Even Captain America, sliding down the slope on his shield in a moment of grim determination, falls to unseen assailants. Only Wolverine stands his ground, his enhanced senses picking up what the others couldn't. I can smell the blood on each of you. Might as well come out, Sabretooth, and let's get this over with. The reveal of the Brotherhood's strike team hits like a sledgehammer. Sabretooth, Deadpool, and Omega Red, not just enemies, but perfect counters to each of our heroes. This wasn't just an ambush, it was an execution designed with surgical precision. The scene shifts to our heroes chained to a pillar, broken but defiant. Through their pained conversation, we learn the horrifying truth. The Brotherhood has implanted bombs inside each of them. Somehow, they've managed to suppress Wolverine's healing factor long enough to do the same to him. But the true gut punch comes with the appearance of Colossus, Peter Rasputin, former X-Man, former hero, standing alongside the Brotherhood. You want to explain yourself, Petey? Wolverine's question carries the weight of decades of friendship, now seemingly betrayed. Colossus's response is chilling in its simplicity. What is to explain? We did not cause this. We are victims of circumstance, like you. The exchange that follows reveals the Brotherhood's true intentions. Not blackmail, not negotiation, but elimination. This isn't about ransom, it's about the end of an era. In a moment that will be seared into readers' memories for years to come, Deadpool casually presses a button that detonates the bomb inside Captain America and Winter Soldier. Two of Marvel's greatest heroes, gone in an instant of blood and fire. Wolverine, in an act of desperate defiance that perfectly encapsulates his character, begins cutting out his own device. I'll cut this thing out before giving you the satisfaction. Then I'm coming for all of you. Colossus watches with genuine remorse, a complexity that elevates this story above simple villainy. I wish it didn't have to be this way, Logan, but someone must lose. This day, it is the West, and it is you, old friend. Deadpool's final quip before pressing the button: bye-bye, America. The final pages of this issue hit like a series of body blows. The casual conversation over Wolverine's apparently dead body, the Brotherhood's plan to relight their half of the world while letting the West fall into darkness and death. Colossus's final declaration is the epitaph for an entire civilization. Tomorrow, and in the years to come, when the sun rises, it will shine on our flourishing lands and on the graves of the West, for they will be all gone, with no one left to remember them. But this is Marvel, and hope never truly dies. As the villains depart, victorious in their certainty, the final panel shows us Wolverine's body beginning to regenerate in the snow. A promise, not of immediate salvation, but of vengeance to come. And this is where this issue ends. And there you have it. Wolverine's Revenge, issue number 1, ends with a gut punch that'll leave you reeling. In just one issue, we've seen the world plunged into darkness by Magneto's death, watched the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants outmaneuver Nick Fury's last forces, and witnessed the shocking death of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But the final panel of Wolverine's regenerating, that's not just hope, that's a promise of vengeance. This issue masterfully sets up what's coming, a one-man war against the Brotherhood, with Wolverine carrying the weight of his fallen friends and a dying world on his shoulders. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's not just about revenge, it's about the survival of billions. If you thought this issue was intense, stick around for coverage of issue number 2. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What do you think Wolverine's next move will be? Until next time, thank you for watching. Later.